Welcome to the 14th joint public hearing of the Quad Committee on behalf of the Committee on Dangerous Drugs. The hearing is now called to order.
In behalf of the Committee on Public Accounts, the meeting is now called to order.
On behalf of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, this Quadcom hearing is now called to order.
For the Committee on Human Rights, the Quadcom is now called to order.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the delay. Bago lahat, magandang umaga ulit sa atin at Happy New Year. Before we proceed with the committee hearing proper, tayo po'y mag-umpisa sa isang invocation. Salamat, Comsec. Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng singanganan, hanap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Upang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw. May dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislat ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwalhatit pagsimba, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Please be seated. The next part of the agenda for today's committee hearing is the roll call of members and the acknowledgement of resource persons. Yes, Congressman Akop?
May I respectfully move that we dispense with the calling of the roll. So move, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion to dispense with the calling of the roll, duly seconded, and hearing no objection, the motion is carried. The next part of the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the meeting held last December 5 and December 12 of 2024. Any motion?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Congressman Akop?
May I respectfully move for the approval that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the meetings held on December 6 and 12, 2024, and consider it as approved. So move, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion to dispense with the approval, the reading of the minutes of the committee hearing held last December 5 and 12, and consider the approval of the same. Duly seconded. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is carried. So may we ask the committee secretary to please acknowledge the presence of our honorable members of the committee, as well as acknowledge the invited resource persons for today's committee hearing. Comsec?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. For today's public hearing, we have with us, of course, our chairman of the Committee on Dangerous Drugs, the lead chairman, Honorable Robert A. Barbers. Also with us is the Honorable Stephen Caraps Paduano, the chairperson of the Committee on Public Accounts, Honorable Dan Fernandez, the chairperson of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, Honorable Bienvenido Abante Jr., the chairperson of the Committee on Human Rights, and the Honorable Romeo Acop, Vice Chair, Honorable Francisco Paulo Ortega V, Honorable Percy Sendania, Honorable Gabriel Bordado, Honorable Jervil Jinky Beatrix Luistro, Honorable Jonathan Keith Flores, Honorable Lordan Suwan, and Honorable Joseph Jojo Lara. For our resource persons, we have with us the Anti-Money Laundering Council, represented by Attorney Adrian A. Arpon and Attorney William Russell S. Malang. From the Bureau of Corrections, we have with us General Gregorio Pio P. Katapang Jr., the Director General. From the Bureau of Customs, we have the Director of the Legal Service, Attorney Tristan Langkay. From the Bureau of Immigration, Attorney Vicente Uncad. From the Department of the Interior and Local Government, represented by Assistant Secretary Huabili Racho. From the Land Registration Authority, represented by Attorney Mark Geronimo and Attorney Paulo Eric Tamayo. From the National Bureau of Investigation, represented by Attorney Ferdinand Lavin. From the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, Assistant Secretary Renato Gumban and the officer in charge of PDEA. And also by Director Emerson Margate, the Director of Intelligence Service, and Attorney Francisco Del Valle, the Director of Legal and Prosecution Service. From the Philippine National Police, we have with us Police Brigadier General Constancio T. Chinayog Jr., Police Brigadier General Eliezer Mata, the Director of Drug Enforcement Group, Police Major General Nicolas S. Salvador, the Director for Operations, and the the Chief of the CIDG, General Nestor Torre. From the Philippine Statistics Authority, we have with us Attorney Elizar Ambatali and Attorney Precious Angela Eugenio. From the Civil Register Management Division, Mr. Emilio Kerubin and Miss Emily Macario. From the Fraud Management Division, also of PSA, we have Attorney Ansari Kosain and Attorney Joyce B. Buyongan. From the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, we have with us Mr. Winnie Kidato. And from the non-government organizations, we have with us Attorney Maria Cristina Conti. From the National Union of People's Lawyers, Father Manuel Noel Gatchalian of Rise Up for Life and for Rights, Dr. Raquel Fortun, Attorney Nery Colmenares, a former congressman of Bayan Muna, National Union of People's Lawyers also. Also with us are other key personalities. We have Mr. Wilkins Villanueva, Mr. Aaron Aquino, Mr. Jimmy Guban, Mr. Mark Taguba, Mr. Isidro La Peña, Mr. Nicanor Faildon, former government officials. That's all for now, Mr. Chair, Your Honors.
Okay, thank you, Comsec. The next part of the agenda for today is the welcome remarks. Please allow this chair to deliver his short opening remarks. Ulitin ko po, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Magandang umaga po sa ating mga resource persons at salamat sa inyong oras na ibinigay para sa bayan. Good morning, Senior Deputy Speaker Aurelio Dong Gonzales, our Deputy Speaker JJ Suarez, the Quadcom co-chairs Benny Abante, Dan Fernandez, Joseph Caraps Paduano, and our overall Vice Chair Quadcom, Vice Chair Romy Acop, distinguished colleagues and members of the Quadcom, and esteemed guests. Welcome to our 14th joint public hearing of the Quad Committee for the first for the year 2025. Last year, we have unmasked and identified several personalities who got involved with criminal syndicates and engaged in illegal activities in the country like illegal pogos, money laundering, human trafficking, kidnapping, murder, illegal drug trade, smuggling, extrajudicial killings, illegal land acquisitions, fake citizenships, bribery, graft and corruption, and use of the government and its resources in furtherance of these illegal acts. As a result, Quadcom has initially recommended the following: further investigation of several personalities by the proper agencies to be able to build stronger cases against them, the enactment of laws that will permanently ban POGOs, the forfeiture of POGO assets and the real properties of foreigners and foreign-owned corporations who are constitutionally barred from owning such assets, the cancellation of late registered birth certificates, and the prosecution of government officials who facilitated these illegal activities and who ordered the extrajudicial killings of people suspected of being involved in illegal drugs for reward, and those who transformed the armed services into a killing machine in order to pursue their sinister agenda. Ngayon po, sa ating pagbabalik, ay meron naman po tayong naisilipin na mga pangyayari kung saan, sa aming palagay, ay para bagang nagbunga ng hindi makatarungang resulta para sa mga nasangkot. Ang Quadcom ay hindi lamang para tugisin ang mga nagkasala sa taong bayan, kundi para maghanap din po at makatulong sa paghahanap ng hustisya para sa mga taong pinagbintangan at dilapatan ng mga kaparusahang hindi makatarungan at hindi karapat-dapat. Ang paghahanap ng hustisya na ito ay sa pamamagitan ng pagpapatibay pa ng mga batas at dagdagan ang kanilang ngipin upang maiwasan ang injustice, ika nga. Layunin din naming na mabigyan ng pagkakataon na mailahad sa publiko ang kanilang kaso at baka sakali maraming nakikinig na makakatulong magbigay ng impormasyon na maaaring mapawalang sala sila sa ating mga hukuman. Ang mga pagpuslit ng toneladang droga na nagkakahalaga ng mahigit 12 bilyong piso na ibinintang sa mga maliliit na tao ay isang kahinahinalang hakbang upang pagtakpan ang mga tunay na may kinalaman. Ang mga taong nagdurusa ngayon ay ngayon, ng pagkakabilanggo ng 40 taon o 40 years ay ang mga sumusunod. Si Mark Taguba, isang batang-batang negosyante na sumasalo lamang ng mga pinarating na mga nag-angkat o importer ng mga bagay-bagay kasama na ang illegal na droga. Wala siyang alam sa laman ng containers na kanya lamang tinatanggap bilang consignee ng mga taong kausap naman ng mga pinanggalingan ng mga kargamento na nag-ipon naman ng mga orders o binili ng mga maraming tao at inilagay sa isang container. Wala po ba kayang reasonable doubt sa kanyang pagkakaugnay dito? Si Mr. Fidel Anoche D, isang matandang bantay sa bodega o bodeguero na tumanggap ng ipinain na droga ng mga PIDEA agents sa isang pamamaraan na tinawag nilang controlled delivery, subalit sa paraang taliwas sapagkat ang mga droga ay kinuha mismo ng mga ahente sa lapag ng isang warehouse at isinakay sa isang container van at truck at idineliver sa isa pang bodega na pagmamayari ng iba at ipinatanggap sa bodegero na walang kamalay-malay. Ang bodegero ay kinasuhan at ngayon ay nagdurusa sa loob ng bilangguan. Wala din po bang reasonable doubt sa kaso niya? Ang ginawang controlled delivery ay nagpatibay noon sa hearings ng Committee on Dangerous Drugs kung saan mismong ang PIDEA ang nagsalaysay na umano'y inabutan nila ang mga droga sa Hong Fei warehouse na nakalabas na sa container at ito'y nasa lapag na. Dinagdag din noon na naggalit pa nga ang Director General ng PIDEA sa mga ginawa ng mga customs personnel sa pangunguna ni Customs Commissioner Faeldon sapagkat naggalaw na raw ang ebidensya. Si Mr. Jimmy Guban, isang dating empleyado ng customs na siyang nakadiskubre ng mga droga sa mga tinatawag na magnetic lifters. Siya na nga ang nakapagsumbong at nakadiskubre, siya pa ang nakulong ng 40 years. Inimbestigahan din ito ng Committee on Dangerous Drugs noong 2018. At ako pa rin ang tumatayong chairman nung panahong yon. Hindi po ba may reasonable doubt na sa kaso niya kasi siya nga ang nakadiscovery ng droga? Si Miss Jed Pilapil C, asawa ng sinasabing Chinese drug lord sa Davao City. Sari-saring bintang ang ipinatong sa kanya dahil lamang asawa siya ng isang pinaghihinalaang drug lord na hanggang sa oras na ito ay sinasabing at large o hindi matagpuan. Kinuha sa kanyang tirahan ng walang warrant of arrest at hindi na pinalaya mula noon. Sa pilitang hiniwalay sa kanyang noon ay sanggol na anak. Pinapirma ng waiver sapagkat siya ay kinuha ng walang warrant na nangangahulugang kidnapping at mula nga noong Enero 2005 ay ikinulong na hanggang sa kasalukuyan. Si Mr. Jong Pilapil, kapatid ni Miss Jed Pilapil C, na ilang buwan pa lamang sa Davao City sapagkat pinakiusapan ni Jed na magbantay sa kanilang tindahan. Nasa ibang probinsya, si Jong nang pinagbintangan siyang kasabwat sa illegal na droga doon sa Davao City at mula noon hanggang ngayon ay nakakulong. Ilan lamang sila sa mga nagdurusa na parang mga walang kasalanan. Ang mas mahalagang tanong na dapat sagutin ng mga nag-akusa sa kanila ay ito: sino-sino ang tunay na may-ari ng mga illegal na droga na ibinibintang ninyo sa mga taong ito? Sino-sino ang nagpalabas ng mga kargamentong ito mula sa Bureau of Customs nang walang masusing inspeksyon? Wala po bang reasonable doubt sa kanilang partisipasyon upang sana ay hindi naman sila nahatulan ng 40 years? Isang tanong ang nabuo sa isipan ng marami nating kababayan. Sa mga bilyong-bilyong halaga ng mga droga, ito bang nakasuhan at nakakulong sa kasalukuyan, mukha bang mga bilyonaryo? Ano ang konklusyon ng inyong mga investigasyon na nagdawit sa kanila? Bakit ang sangkatutak ng mga nirekomendang kasuhan ng parehong Committee on Dangerous Drugs at Senate Blue Ribbon Committee tulad sa mga membro o kawani ng Bureau of Customs na nagpadaan sa green lane ng mga kontrabandong ito? At doon sa mga nagsagawa ng raid, di umano, kasama ang mga PIDEA agents na nag-implement ng controlled delivery. Sila Richard Tan, alias Chen, also known as Chen Julong, na siyang may-ari ng warehouse na unang tumanggap ng droga, ay hindi kinasuhan at nananatiling malaya. Sa tindi ng inyong investigasyon ay wala kayong natukoy na may-ari ng tone-toneladang droga na ipinuslit sa Bureau of Customs. Sa NBI, na unang nag-imbestiga ng metal cylinders at magnetic lifters, na sa unang mga investigasyon ay dose-dosenang mga akusado ang inyong inimbitahan. Subalit sa dulo, ang sinampahan ninyo lamang ng kaso ay itong mga fall guys na ito. Si dating prosecutor Aristotel Reyes, na di umano matapos sampahan ng kaso ang mga fall guys, ay napromote bilang isang RTC judge na ngayon ay balitang di umano ay nag-a-apply din bilang isang justice ng Sandigan Bayan, kung ito man po ay totoo. Gusto sana nating makaharap dito si Judge Reyes upang malinawan ang mga bagay na ito, subalit kinakailangan pa natin ng pahintulot ng Korte Suprema dahil sa siya ay isa na pong judge. Isang bagay na kailangan malinawan ay ang mga charges di umano na ginawa ni prosecutor na sinang-ayunan ng Department of Justice under the former Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre. At ito ang mga charges na di umano. Si Fidel Anoche D. na bodigero ay sinampahan ng kaso. Subalit si Chen Julong o Richard Tan na nagmamayari mismo ng warehouse kung saan dinala ang mga droga ay hindi nakasuhan. Tama po ba? Gusto sana naming malaman ang mga dahilan kung ano at sino-sino ang mga hindi nakasuhan na kasama sa investigasyon na iyon. Hindi din nakasuhan ang mga PIDEA agents for, quote, planting of evidence na kung saan ang mga droga ay idinala doon sa warehouse na yon on the basis of the bungled controlled delivery. Mismong si former Director General Wilkins Villanueva ang naglahad nito sa Committee on Dangerous Drugs sa aming mga pagdinig. Hindi din kinasuhan ang mga tauhan ng customs na nagpalabas ng kargamentong may lamang droga, di umano at sa halip ay kinasuhan si Mark Taguba ng conspiracy to import drugs at kung tama ang impormasyon ay facilitating the smuggling of drugs from the Bureau of Customs kung saan wala naman po siyang kontrol. Sino po ba ang tunay na may-ari ng mga drogang ito? Ang mga tunay na nag-angkat o nag-import nito? Ang mga may impluwensya sa mga tauhan ng customs na siyang nagpalabas ng kargamentong ito na walang inspeksyong ginawa. If these people who are now going to spend the good years of their lives in jail are indeed guilty, the investigators should not have stopped with them but should have determined the real culprits. If, however, these people are necessary fall guys in order to cover up for the truth, then we have committed a grave injustice which we are now compelled to rectify. A person's right to life and liberty is God-given. It is not yours or anybody's to trample upon or deny or sacrifice in exchange for a consideration just so the guilty shall remain free. Today, we shall also hear other testimonies of victims of EJK. We shall endeavor to aid in the quest for truth on the cold-blooded murder of General Wesley Barayuga of the PCSO during the time when Colonel Hector Grijaldo, the classmate of Colonel Garma, was the Mandaluyong Chief of Police. We will try to elicit from Colonel Grijaldo some important information pertaining to the murder. These are material information. For instance, why was the name of General Barayuga allegedly added to the list of drug personalities days after his murder? Why was there allegedly no report coming from the Mandaluyong Philippine National Police about the incident? Colonel Grijaldo has to explain this to this committee. Again, maraming salamat po sa inyong attendance and we hope to have a fruitful and productive day and literally a much better New Year sa ating lahat. So magandang umaga at maraming salamat po. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Human Rights, Congressman Benny Abante. You are recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat, sa ating mga colleagues, sa ating mga resource speakers and witnesses. Salamat po sa inyong pagdalo muli sa Quadcom hearing na ito. Kayo po ay kasama naming mga lingkod ng ating bayan. So again, we gather here in what? In pursuit of truth, justice, and accountability. Kung meron man dito nagsasabi na we're gathered here because of politics, gusto namin humarap siya rito para sabihin sa amin directly. As we open this hearing, let us be reminded of the words of Romans 13, 3 and 4. And I would like to read in quote. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Ang rulers po dito ay hindi lamang ang ating political leaders, kundi lahat ng ating law enforcers. Ano po ang gawain natin? We are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good. Yan po ang command ng Scripture. Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. Ang bawat opisyal po ng bayan ay tinawag na ministro ng Diyos para sa kabutihan. So ito po ang sinasabi, do that which is good. This is the standard by which we measure our actions in this quest for justice. This is the challenge to all who hold power, whether in government, law enforcement, or public service. Power must never be abused in order to shield wrongdoers. It must never be wielded to sow fear among the innocent. Power must serve only one purpose: to uphold what is just and to bring evil to account. Yet, time and time again, in the course of these hearings, we have seen the opposite. Those entrusted with a duty to protect have enabled injustice. Those who swore to uphold the law have hidden behind silence. Those called to testify, like former PIDEA Chief Wilkins Villanueva, and I would never question his good record in the Philippine National Police. I admire what he has done. But he has refused to answer the people's questions, forcing us to cite them for contempt. This is not a mere legal matter. It is a moral one. After all, the first laws that were made in the world were based upon a moral code. If we are to serve justice, if we are to save our countrymen from the clutches of extrajudicial killings, illegal drugs, and pogos that have corrupted our institutions, then we must do that which is good. And this begins with the truth. May mga taong pinapasalamatan ang dating administrasyon sa war on drugs. Kini-question kami kung mas maganda ba na ang Pilipinas ay mahulog sa droga kaysa labanan ng droga. Sinabi namin, inulit-ulit namin dito, sinuportahan namin ang dating administrasyon sa war on drugs. Binanggit ko sa ating former president, ang hindi ko lang maintindihan kung bakit kinakailangang pumatay ng more than 30,000 people para mawala ang drugs. Ang question dito ito, nawala ba? Hindi nawala ang drugs. Ganun pa rin. Ang inaakala po namin dito, ay baka naman tinanggal natin ang kompetisyon para ang maiwan na lamang sa drug trade ay yung mga nasa kapangyarihan. Yun ang nais kong sabihin. Oho, ayaw po natin mahulog ang bansa sa droga. Ayaw po natin yan. Pero ayaw din natin na ang buong Pilipinas maging killing fields, na pumatay tayo, na hindi sinusunod ang ating saligang batas. Dito po ay atin nang nakita nung tinanong namin, bakit binaril to? Bakit pinatay ito? Sapagkat order po ito ng aming nakakataas. Kahit po ba ang order na nakakataas ay hindi ayon sa saligang batas, susundin ng ating mga law enforcers? Ano po ang sagot ng ating mga ibang law enforcer officials? Hindi po. Dapat sundin ang saligang batas. Ang ating Senador Bato de la Rosa, nung tinanong siya, ayaw naman yung humarap sa amin. Pinapaharap namin para maging malinaw lahat ng bagay. Anong ginagawa niya? Nagpupunta sa media. Kung ano-anong pinagsasabi niya. Sinisipa niya ang mga kapulisan na alam nila ang batas. Hindi nila dapat sundin ang nakakataas sa kanila kung naniniwala sila na hindi ito ayon sa batas. Pero sinunod Di ba? Now, yet, kahit na po sa kanyang mga bagay, mga kababayan, I am not without hope. Mga kasama, the Quadcom was not convened to chase imaginary shadows. We are here because lives have been lost, because families have been torn apart, because organized crime operating under the guise of legal businesses has found protection in our own institutions, because a few law enforcers, hindi namin nila lahat, a few law enforcers have chosen to become instruments of terror instead of being ministers of justice. As I've said, hindi kami nawawala ng pag-asa dito. For history and experience tell us that there is always hope in the pursuit of righteousness. Hope that those who were once silent in the face of injustice will now have the courage to speak. Sinabi ko po yan sa Committee on Human Rights na huwag na kayong matakot sapagkat gumagawa na tayo ng paraan upang ma-address ang problemang ito. Pero nais kong sabihin sa ating mga kababayan, marami pa rin naging biktima ng pagpatay ay natatakot lumabas. Bakit natatakot? Yan po ba ang ibig sabihin ng leadership? Manakot tayo ng tao para sumunod sa atin? O maging halimbawa tayo ng tamang panunungkulan para ang tao at ang bayan ay sumunod sa atin? Hope that those complicit in wrongdoing will find the resolve to make things right. Hope that we, as lawmakers and public servants, will not allow fear or convenience to dictate the course of justice. To those who come before this committee, to those who still hesitate, to those who are reluctant and afraid to speak the truth, do that which is good. Not for us, not for politics, but for your countrymen who have suffered in silence. For the time for evasion has passed. The time for justice is now. Let these hearings be evidence of our commitment and proof of our resolve. We seek not vengeance, only truth. We wield this power not for personal gain, but for our people. And we will not stop until the evildoers who have plagued our country are unmasked, until justice is restored, and until righteousness prevails. Ano man ang pananakot na ginagawa sa amin. So may God guide us in the days ahead. Maraming salamat po at manigong bagong taon sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Congressman Abante. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Public Accounts, Congressman Joseph Caraps Paduano. You are
Thank you,
recognized.
Mr. Chairman. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, as expected from this representation, talagang mahaba po yung opening remarks ulit ni Chairman Abante. But anyway, Mr. Chairman, and this started with regards to some issues that was already also raised against this representation and of course against this committee. But for the interest of time, Mr. Chairman, and for the expedient of discussing important matters in today's hearing, I'll just, if the chairman will allow, the lead chairman will allow, I'll just have my manifestation on the latter part of this hearing or the closing part of this hearing. Dahil after this, Mr. Chairman, may mga admin matters pa tayo na that has to be discussed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, Congressman Dan Fernandez. You are
Mr. Chair,
recognized.
I will not deliver any opening remarks, so we can start right away. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you for that manifestation, Congressman Fernandez. Before we proceed, let me acknowledge the presence of our honorable members, Honorable Faustino Ino D., Honorable Jefferson Konghun, and Honorable Franz Castro. Okay, so the Chair would like to recognize Congressman Bordado for his short manifestation. You have 2 minutes, Congressman Bordado.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I wish to echo the voices of countless families whose loved ones fell victim to the tragic consequences of the previous administration's war on drugs. These innocent lives, taken without due process, cry out for justice. Justice that this august chamber has seriously considered by adopting the House Quad Committee's report on extrajudicial killings. Mr. Chairman, as highlighted in the Quadcom's findings, the war on drugs not only disregarded the sanctity of human life, but also trampled on our people's fundamental rights. the evidence presented, including testimonies, legislative gaps, and even admissions from former officials, paints a grim picture of a systematic policy of violence and impunity. And as pointed out by our chairman himself, Congressman Ace Barbers, and I quote, "Former President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs was a catastrophic failure, and it corrupted the Philippine National Police, promoted impunity, and led to widespread human rights abuses," unquote. Mr. Chairman, the report's recommendations to pursue charges against or under Republic Act 9851, the Philippine Act on Crimes against International Humanitarian Law, genocide, and other crimes against humanity are critical steps towards accountability, and naming those involved signals our commitment to upholding the rule of law. Mr. Chairman, this is not simply a matter of looking back at a dark chapter in our history. It is about ensuring that no administration, present or future, will ever again exploit the powers of government to wage a war that disregards due process, human dignity, and the rule of law. I support the legislative proposals outlined in the Quadcom report, the classification of extrajudicial killings as heinous crimes, the prohibition of Philippine offshore gaming operators which have been linked to illegal drugs and money laundering, strengthening mechanisms for civil forfeiture of unlawfully acquired properties, and establishing the Philippine National Police Internal Affairs as an independent and autonomous agency. Mr. Chairman, justice must not be delayed any longer. These reforms, coupled with the pursuit of accountability, are necessary steps towards healing the wounds of the past and restoring trust in our institution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Bordado, for the manifestation. For the conduct of a orderly hearing for today, we have two topics that we will discuss. The first topic for this morning is the topic on the illegal drugs. And then later this afternoon, we will proceed with the topic on the extrajudicial killings. So the resource persons for these topics are present and have been aware of the procedure in this committee hearing. So before we continue with the interpellations of the members to be propounded to the resource persons, let me acknowledge first Congressman Paduano for some admin matters. Congressman Paduano, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, good morning, everyone. Mr. Chairman, we haven't received a copy of the excuse letter coming from former DOJ Secretary, Attorney Vitaliano Aguirre, with regards to the invitation sent to him, and he sent an excuse letter dated January 20, just today. And, but of course, he has a commitment through his letter, and I hope all the members of this honorable committee has a copy of this, that he committed that he will be present in the next hearing. Short notice daw, at the same time, may commitment siya with regards to some cases that he's handling today. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I move that we will issue an invitation for Attorney Vitaliano Aguirre on the next hearing, scheduled hearing.
Comsec, please take note of the order of the committee with respect to the invitation to be sent to former Justice Secretary Vit Aguirre.
Next, Mr. Chairman, we received a copy of the excuse letter coming from Police Colonel Marvin Marcos Jr. Stating that he is now on official leave, and attached herewith are the official permission for Major Police Colonel Marvin Marcos for his leave of absence, Mr. Chairman, and signed by Police Colonel Reynaldo Lizardo, Chief Admin and Resource Management Division. So with that, Mr. Chairman, once again, we'll just send an invitation for Police Colonel Marcos for the next hearing, Mr. Chairman. So moved.
Please take note of the request of Congressman Paduano, COMSEC.
Next, Mr. Chairman, is the excuse letter sent by the lawyers of retired Police Colonel Garma and the person of Attorney Kilang and Attorney Kumigad, who is invited to this hearing to testify with regards to the statement being made by former Police Colonel Grijaldo. And for the record, Mr. Chairman, we have also an affidavit coming from the two lawyers with regards to what really transpired during the meeting with Grijaldo and our co-chair, Chairman Abante and Chairman Dan Fernandez. So I will just use this affidavit, Mr. Chairman, the later part when we discuss the issue about the Grijaldo's statement in the Senate, Mr. Chairman. Now, we have also received an excuse letter coming from Commissioner Joel Anthony Viado of the Bureau of Immigration, and he has sent a representative, siguro nandito naman yung taga-BI. At the same time, all the documents that was requested to them to submit to this committee is already submitted, Mr. Chairman. Anyway, I presume that the representative from the BI can answer all the query that will be raised by the members of this committee. Now, Mr. Chairman, just for the information of the members of this committee, we have received a copy of the motion for certiorari with injunction by Police Colonel Grijaldo to the Supreme Court, and we have received a copy not from the Supreme Court, but of course from Police Colonel Grijaldo through his lawyer, Attorney J.P. Mercado. And he has not sent, Mr. Chairman, he has not, for the record, Mr. Chairman, Police Colonel Grijaldo never asked for a motion for reconsideration to this committee, Mr. Chairman. So, just for the information of this honorable committee. And we will discuss later, siguro, pag nandito na po si Colonel Grijaldo with regards to the motion for reconsideration, at the same time for possible violation if you will not be attending into this hearing, Mr. Chairman. Now, and lastly, Mr. Chairman, we have received a copy of the omnibus motion coming from former PDEA. Yeah, motion for this reconsideration coming from former PDEA Chief Mr. Wilkins Villanueva. Makapal po. This is a 16 pages motion, and I will just take this opportunity, Mr. Chairman, that we have the COMSEC has informed me that we have a quorum in today's in this hearing. And I hope we will discuss this motion by General Wilkins Villanueva, Mr. Chairman. Now, and I do believe that the members of this committee has all had a copy of that motion for reconsideration of former PDEA Chief Wilkins Villanueva. Now, Mr. Chairman, just to get the gist of the motion for reconsideration, first and foremost, Mr. Chairman, I would like to, of course, to salute General Wilkins, former General Wilkins, for respecting the contempt order that was issued to you last hearing, for presenting yourself to this committee and to the House. And with that, I salute you, former General Wilkins Villanueva. Now, to discuss, Mr. Chairman, just a few discussions with regards to the motion for the reconsideration. First, on the first paragraph, Mr. Chairman, in his motion, Mr. Chairman, former PDEA Chief Villanueva cited the following arguments. Number one, first, that he has been very cooperative to the committee as he attended all the hearings and voluntarily answered all the queries. That's number one. And second is that he did not refuse to answer a relevant inquiry. Now, Mr. Chairman, on the first basis for this motion, the question of attending in 4 hearings, is not part of the motion for contempt that was issued to General Wilkins, because the motion for contempt that was issued to General Wilkins is in violation of Section 11, Paragraph C, with regards to refusal to or evasive to answer relevant questions that was being raised by the members of this committee. And he never violated our Section 11, paragraph A, yung refusal to attend hearings without legal excuse. So the first defense is not consistent or in question, no, with regards to the contempt order. Now, as to the second argument, we'll discuss, Mr. Chairman, as to the second argument, because in the second argument, he quoted a portion of the decision of the Supreme Court in the case of Lincoln Ong versus the Senate, GR number 256401, dated March 28, 2023. Now, Mr. Chairman, the committee deemed it necessary to consider in toto the motion submitted as part of our commitment and constitutional functions. However, qualifications must first be made as to the application of the Supreme Court decisions in the case at hand. Now, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Wilkins cannot bank in arguments blindly on the aforementioned jurisprudence. Clearly, the circumstances surrounding Ong versus Senate will not squarely apply in the case of the contempt order for former PDR Chief Villanueva. In the said case, Mr. Chairman, the court invalidated the contempt order by the Senate because of the denial of the due process when the Senate failed to give Ong the opportunity to explain why his testimony is not false and evasive. Now, and for the record, Mr. Chairman, former General Wilkins is present in 4 hearings, and he was given a due process and the time to explain. And paulit-ulit po, well, in fact, during the hearing, last hearing, before this representation moved to cite him in contempt, I warned him about his evasive answer to the question that was raised by Chairman Acop and, of course, Congressman SDS Dong Gonzales during the time, Mr. Chairman. Now, Mr. Chairman, I will not discuss anymore, Mr. Chairman, the other facts with regards to Lincoln Ong versus Senate, in which, sabi ko na nga, the decision of the Supreme Court will not apply in the case of General Wilkins Villanueva. Now, he's also quoting about the Senate versus Amita. And once again, Mr. Chairman, the Senate versus Amita case with regards to secretarianary is all about the invoking the executive privilege that was invoked during the time. And it was the Supreme Court decision favored the motion of the former then Executive Secretary Amita because they invoke executive privilege, and in this case, quoting some portion of that decision of the Supreme Court is not, once again, cannot be applied in the case of General Wilkins Villanueva. Now, Mr. Chairman, to end, Mr. Chairman, but on the let me just quote the last part of the motion of General Wilkins. Now, on page 14, paragraph 20, ito lang po, the movant regrets the misunderstanding may have arisen due to the long hours of hearing and the numerous topics discussed during the Quadcom hearing, and undertakes to continuously and voluntarily participate in the proceedings. Paragraph 21, Mr. Chairman, therefore, the movant appeals to the sound discretion of the Quadcom and humbly and respectfully ask that the Honorable Quadcom consider the totality of the circumstances and lift its contempt order against the movant. So, ang pag-intindi ko po, Mr. Chairman, the movant commitments that during today's hearing and the next hearing, he will cooperate and will answer the queries truthfully, no, that is being addressed to him. And again, Mr. Chairman, for the record, and once again, I really appreciate this motion for reconsideration of General Wilkins. Attached here with, Mr. Chairman, the verification and certification against Shopping Forum. Unlike in the case of Colonel Grijaldo and some other guest resource person that was cited in contempt, instead of filing a motion for reconsideration in this committee and the House, they filed it in the Supreme Court for the refutes. But anyway, Mr. Chairman, with that, Mr. Chairman, I will not discuss anymore with regards to the statement on paragraph 20 because we have to validate it because General Wilkins, you have quoted some, ito pa nga yung mga kinote mo dito na conversation in this hearing, ano ba to? Saan na to galing? Yung transcript, yung interpretation to you and the answers coming from you and the questions of the members of this committee, quoting Chairman Acop, me, and the other members of this committee. Saan ba to galing? Sorry, please use the microphone.
Sa YouTube yan, Mr. Chair,
Sa YouTube.
pinanood namin nireview ko ulit yung
Okay.
whole.
Sige, anyway, pagdating mamaya sa inyo, i-validate po natin, no? Yung question about it. But what is important, Mr. Chairman, that sabi ko na nga, personally, I really appreciate, no? Yung naging gesture ni General Wilkins in filing this motion for consideration, at the same time presenting to this committee, and of course to the SAA, he is present during his detention, Mr. Chairman. So with that, Mr. Chairman, since we have a quorum, and I already asked some members kanina, that, Mr. Chairman, I respectfully move that to lift the motion that we have cited in contempt for Mr. Wilkins Villanueva. So, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, there is a motion to lift the contempt order imposed on General Wilkins Villanueva by this committee, duly seconded. Are there any objections? Amendments? Nothing. The motion is approved. Comsec, please inform the Sergeant at Arms and our LSB that the contempt order has been lifted. So we will now proceed with the interpellation of